morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. First of all, happy holidays. I know you haven't seen me in a little bit. I hope you had fun with Wendy and Abraham. I hope they gave you some nice, interesting information. Welcome, everybody. I want to remind everyone that we are now Cohen, Tucker, and Ades. We have merged with another big firm. We actually absorbed them. We have a big staff, 5 attorneys, 6 paralegals. So your cases should be very well taken care of. We're still at the same address, same phone numbers, everything is the same. We're updating things slowly as we go. But this is our exciting news for the end of this year. It's been a very long, productive year. We got a lot of things done. A lot of people had their lives turned around because of new regulations, new laws, and so on and so forth. And we're continuing to reverse people's fortunes, so to speak, and take advantage of these times that we have now. Hopefully they last for a little longer, and I have big hopes for at least some of the reform coming through that was promised to us. Sorry, I'm just gonna silence my computer, which I forgot to do. What continues to bother me is the following. I'm getting people coming in here with work permits and travel documents who are telling me that they just have these documents and they have no idea what are they connected to. Some people don't even know that a travel and a work permit has to be connected to another application and cannot be standalone. And when I try to explain that to them, people are surprised and amazed because they're told that what they're applying for is just a work permit and a travel document. So I want to reinforce this point and really drive it home. If you have a work permit and a travel document, whether they're together or by itself, this is connected to another application. At this time in place in United States, there are no independent work permits for people. Those permits are tied to existing employment-based, family-based, asylum-based, U visa-based, SIJ-based. Something is anchoring that work permit. It is never a standalone. If you go somewhere and they're telling you you could just have a work permit, you need to ask them what it is connected to. So I will continue to drive that point down. We are doing a lot of joint motions to reopen of people's old deportation, exclusion, removal orders. Technically, deportation, removal, and exclusion all refer to the same thing, but legally there are differences. The differences can be subtle and can mean different things for different person, right? Right now, if you've been in front of a judge and the judge denied your case, you will have a removal order. Yes, that order after 30 days, if you have not filed an appeal, becomes final, okay? So if you have a final order of removal, that doesn't mean that the ICE, as of now, is looking around and hunting for you and they have your name on a radar, but you are in their system. So let's say you get stopped or get arrested, or the way that it was under the Trump administration, they did sweeps, they did arrests, right? And if, let's say, you are in a jurisdiction or a state that cooperates with ICE, they can, if you're arrested even on a local level, they can send you information and you can have what's called an ICE detainer, which means after your criminal case is done, you can go on further to the immigration for processing for removal from United States. I want to explain to you the deportation order is serious. Yes, there have been people, and there continue to be people, and there will be people who live in United States sometimes for decades with the deportation, removal, exclusion orders, and so on. But there are people that have them and have been removed. Hundreds of thousands of people are removed every year from United States. Contrary to popular belief, ICE continues to remove people. Yes, they have loosened the strings a little bit. Yes, their priorities are different than they were under Trump, but they continue to remove people. So if you have an old deportation order, this is a good time to at least speak to an attorney to see if there is anything we can do for you about that, right? Doesn't hurt. That's that. Deportation orders are serious. Now, we continue to file a lot of prosecutorial discretion requests, which is when we go to the Department of Homeland Security and we tell them that this person is not moving forward with whatever the case they have, or they don't have a case at the time, there's nothing they can apply for, but we go and we show that the person doesn't pose any danger to society, that they've been living here, paying taxes, they're a person of good moral character, and asking the government for their discretion in not pursuing the deportation case against them, removal case against them. They're case by case basis. They're extremely particular, and we speak to every person. We explain this to them before we get their agreement to pursue this further. USCIS continues to schedule people for interview. We're getting a lot of interviews, a lot of people coming through. The processing times have shrunk for certain applications, but continue to be very long for certain others. For example, the citizenship processing time is now about 10 months. Green card processing time is about 10 months. This is New York. We've seen other states where we have clients who have gotten their citizenships in 3 months, in 4 months. So those USCIS seems to be on top of. However, work permits, they're not. Work permits are taking extremely long times. Some of our clients are even outside of processing times, and we have been successful in asking USCIS to expedite work permits for people who are essential workers, people who work for medical facilities, certain government facilities, people who are integral in helping or working in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we have been successful in expediting certain cases. We have also been successful in expediting certain cases through embassies when the relative in United States is quote unquote an essential worker. A lot of embassies are resuming limited processing. They're definitely not back to the pre-pandemic times, but they are doing much better. There have been movement in the European Union, EU, UK. There has been openings and closings in Eastern Europe. It depends. There has been movement certainly in the Latin American countries. We've seen movement in Africa. We have seen movement in the Eastern European bloc. So those cases are going forward. We are doing a lot of consular interviews, consular processing. Things are moving forward, but slower, much slower than the cases are going within the United States. This is how it is. There has still been cases that have been unadjudicated pre-pandemic. Yes, we know it's frustrating to you, it's frustrating to me because I'm holding on to cases that should have been resolved a long time ago. But when a country goes into a lockdown, or when the embassy is processing limited visas, we can ask in certain circumstances for a case to be transferred to a different embassy that it is processing. But a lot of the times that is a lengthy and very work heavy process. The embassy has to accept the case, the transfer has to be completed, and we've had situations where by the time the transfer was completed, the original embassies has resumed its processing. So in these uncertain times, if you're asking for your case to be transferred from one embassy to another, you are taking the risk, because what we see is embassy opens, processes, closes, opens, processes, sometimes closes, sometimes remains open for a long time. When it comes to National Visa Center cases, the rule is that you have to maintain contact with them, and you cannot let more than a year go by without contacting them. There are exceptions that when a person can show that due to circumstances they were unable to maintain contact, and we have been successful in the past in reinstating cases, reviving them, so to speak, from being dead, saving them from being terminated. And it is very interesting because we've had cases with that have never been closed, and they're from early 2000s. Sometimes I've even had cases from the 90s, and then we've had cases from early 2000s that were terminated, right? Oh, some of it is luck, right? Sometimes a case just slips through the cracks and stays in that crack until I get to it and then give it some life. There's a lot of things happening in terms of immigration. This is definitely a time, if you've been afraid in the last 4 years to come out and speak to an immigration attorney, this is the time for you to try and change your circumstances. I'm not saying that everybody will be eligible, but I'm saying if there was a time to come out and try, this is the time. And we will continue to update you when new things come out. Keep watching. I will keep posting, and whenever something new comes out, we try to post it on all of our social media right away, and have you contact us right away. This is it for now. I will be here next Thursday. I'm going to talk about something very interesting. I will post about it on Monday or Tuesday of next week, and as always, you can see all of the videos on YouTube. We're available. We have phone numbers, everything is posted on Google. You can Google us, send us messages here, send us emails, call us, and we will get back to you. I hope everybody has a great rest of their week. I will not be in the office tomorrow, but the office is open. There are functioning, phones are working, emails are working, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you, and stay warm.